let's talk about how to build a reactive dog. How not to stop reactivity, but how to build a reactive dog. So Ryder here is a 9-month-old German Shepherd. He's super impressionable. Hey, get out of that stuff. Came to us, I'm gonna say a couple of days ago because we worked with him. His mom drops him off, or his dad drops him off. Would you get out of that stuff? His mom and dad drop him off in the morning, pick him up in the day or in the afternoon, and we get to work with him throughout the day. So as far as exposing him or any dog to different environments, we're down here at Plaza de Ferdinand in Pensacola. Beautiful little park to come walk around, do your thing. And hey, you can't keep eating that stuff. But Ryder's task is here, like me sitting here, is that if I'm going to have my coffee or read a book, then Ryder's job is to pretty much exist and accommodate. Now, if he does good behaviors where he's sitting here, he's relaxing, not eating stuff off the ground, then enough of that. Then I can reward him. But I've also got to show him what's allowed, what's not. Now, when it comes to building reactivity, people walk by and he will become interested, right? He'll start to look at them. He'll get focusing on them. Just curiosity. And he's a pointy-eared breed. So his focus or his curiosity as a German Shepherd, or when you see other quote-unquote dominant breeds, is kind of magnified because of the breed itself. Whereas somebody wouldn't really care if a Golden Retriever was looking at somebody, or a Labrador, things like that. So what happens is, typically when somebody's building reactivity in their dog, unintentionally, is that Ryder goes and he's focusing on something, right? And then what'll happen is that owner will go to start talking to them, telling them things like, it's okay, it's all right. And the thing about that is that if it is actually okay and it is all right, then how come we're talking that way? And dogs are pretty lockstep with humans as far as being able to read us, our body language, our tone. So when we have this tone, like this worried tone starts to come out, that starts to put a dog on edge where, okay, something's not quite as it seems, right? The other thing is that person typically goes to apply leash tension, right? So you got this backwards tension, and now the dog is just locked into whatever the owner's talking, and there's backwards tension. Now, I hate having to break this to people, but in the military canine world, we would apply that same back pressure and talk to that dog when we wanted to release the dog a lot of times to go get a bite. We're sitting there talking to them. They're not really caring about the words so much as like, okay, you're kind of easing me back, whether it be by the leash or by the collar. You're talking to me, and then boom, there's this big explosion. Now, when that dog goes to explode towards something or someone, like any person, you are probably pulling the dog away, getting the dog out of the situation, right? So now this dog was focused on this thing, this person, this dog. There's backwards tension. You're talking to the dog. You're worried. You're nervous, afraid. So now you have this big combustible thing. Boom, the dog goes to explode. Now you're getting out of the situation, right? You're pulling your big dog back, or you're picking your small dog up, and we're going away. So now, because we went and did that, all we're doing is making the thing that much more of a value, where we're saying, like, I wanted to get at this thing, or so I thought I did, and now you're pulling me away. And it's this huge adrenaline spike, right? We pull the dog away, and then they can't wait to have that again. Not even knowing that they would have done anything aggressive, but it becomes the most exciting part of what they're doing. Now, with Ryder and preparing him, is we should be able to just sit here, and there's pigeons, there's squirrels, there's people walking their dogs by, and there's people in general. And he can be curious, but if he goes to provide any kind of focus, right, I can handle it one or two ways. I can really let him make a decision for himself, which I'm big on, right? And I'm not providing any leash tension, not talking to him, just letting him see somebody walk by and nothing happening, right? Or what I can do is I can have him do something else, right? I could have him sit, I could have him down, I could kind of interrupt that action and get him focused on me. I tend to lean towards the first one, where, hey, it's a busy world out there if you're a dog. There's a lot going on. For sure, you're going to see things all the time, and they're only going to mean something if I mean that they mean something. I always talk about my father, where if I was walking with my dad as a kid and, I had his hand, that I knew that by holding his hand, I was with somebody that was calm and confident that I trusted completely, right? So unless he stopped or locked up, which I can recall one time when he did, we were walking, it was me and my brothers and we were younger, and he did stop, and that stopped us too. And I could tell that something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. And it was a big old water moccasin. And that's when he stopped us, and then he told us what to do, kind of guided us. And then, he knocked the crap out of this thing with a pine tree that he pretty much broke down. But the meaning of the story is that unless something was wrong, it was just always this nice, cool confidence that I could trust and believe in. And it has to be the same way with our dogs on a leash. Now, for my man here, when we stay here for, let's say, an extended period of time, he's going to be antsy. He's going to be whiny, right? But I've got to expose him to this environment. I've got to put in the time to show him that his job here is really to exist and accommodate. I see people walking around, which, I'm going to be straight up with you. I see a dog trainer walking around, and what she's doing with a dog that I know is not hers is that she's just doing a lot of obedience, a lot of behavior. And then what you're setting this dog up for now is to come into this environment potentially with their owner and think that, okay, we're going to get out of the car and that you're going to just sit here and work with me the whole time. Well, that's not typically what a pet owner or, a pet mom or pet dad wants to do. They want a dog that understands how to accommodate and how is it beneficial to accommodate. So now, as far as like rewarding my man here, paid him. He's nice. He's relaxed. He's doing his thing. He was nibbling at the whatever the crap falling out of the trees is, but he's doing his thing. And because he's doing his thing, and I can just sit here and relax, then I can let him kind of take in the world. And it's my leadership, it's my calmness that is going to push down leash to him. Myself and my co-owner April, we've handled bomb dogs in the Middle East. So our confidence is that kind of confidence. Now, that's not something that you're going to just generate from every person that handles a dog, but you have to portray somebody that the dog can believe in, and you have to be capable of doing so, and you have to give them opportunities to take in the world. And I know it can be nerve-wracking. I know it can be worrisome, right? Because when's that next bad thing going to happen, especially if you've had reactivity. But you really got to, you've got to seek out some kind of training with somebody trusted that you feel confident in, and they've got to display the leadership that you want to display to your dog, and then you've got to take the baton and run with it. As good as Ryder is in my hands, if somebody else takes this leash and does different things or gives different input, you're going to get a different dog. It's just that plain and simple. So when we talk about how to build reactivity, your dog gets focused on something, tense up on the leash and start talking. Boom, your dog goes to react to something, right? We pull them away. No, we pull them away, and now we just made that thing inherently more valuable. Before I end, we used to do a thing called a chase away with the dog, where that dog would be chasing at the decoy, the bad guy, the person in the suit, right? And at the last second, we would break away, and that person would take off and hide, and that dog would essentially lose that person, right? And what do you think that did? And we would put him right in the vehicle. All that did was create all this drive to want to go out there and get that person, right? In that world, in some aspects, that worked in our favor. We wanted to do that. We set it up to be that way. But that's not anything that a pet mom or a pet dad is trying to do. That's not anything that you're trying to do as an owner. So we have to display calm and confidence. We have to put our dog in situations and let them take in the world if we want to prepare them for the world. It's the most responsible thing that we can do to build the dog that we want at the end of the day. A confident, mature, adult dog. I am Ryan Truster with Frequency Canine, and it has been a pleasure chatting with you on this perfect spring morning. Too easy.